moving swiftly on, we have to make the cabanes. Now if you don't know what cabanes are, if you look at the drawing, these are the cabanes. These basically go from the fuselage, or as Cliff likes to say, the fuzz. They go from the fuzz up and attached to the top wing. So this is the the main support from your fuselage, and it's very important to get these absolutely spot on if you can. Now all struts are made from 2 laminations of 1.5 ply. Now I think for our American friends, I think that's 1/16, and you put them together and it becomes 1/8. But it's better, I think, to use 2 laminations rather than just using a 1/8, because how the grain is, it makes it actually structurally stronger, and that's why the designer has said use 2 laminations. So that's what we're doing, making these up ready. So everything is preparation and making things ready. So what we do is, again, we use the carbon paper, or you can scan it into your computer, print it out and use that as a template. Get yourself your 1.5mm ply sheet, trace round the template onto the sheet, cut that bit of sheet out to make it easier to handle, put it on your jigsaw, jig these out. Now jig them out rough, don't try and go up to the line. You can see for the back cabanes here, this is one I've cut out and it's just rough. Don't cut it to the line, cut it near to the line, okay? Then what you do, you get yourself belt sander. You belt sand these right onto the line, no closer, and then you finish them off by hand. All this is just to save you a lot of time and effort. Now the way that I get these absolutely bob on, I use a little hand sander, and these are this is a how do you pronounce it? Overlander Professional. Anyway, you pronounce it. People who sand dead skin off the feet, and once these are gone smooth, you just peel them off, get whatever grade you want, put a bit of glue on the back, stick it on, and you got yourself another hand sander. How about that? I don't know what grade that is offhand. It's about 150, I think, something like that. And then what I do, or what I have been doing, is this is nearly finished, and this comes almost to the exact shape. So have I got one that needs doing? Yes, I have. There, the front, so the back. So if I grab the back, as you can see, it's quite rough. Okay, I'll just put that on the side there, get my hand sander. This can be a bit tedious, I have to admit, but it's worth it. And you just keep doing that, and it doesn't take that long. You've got 8 to do, okay, but it's worth it. So you just keep doing that. Now, for the sake of the length of the video, I'm not going to take it all the way there, because you're just watching some old fat guy sanding a bit of ply, aren't you? So just to show you what the results of just doing that is, okay, you're starting to get nearer the line. Let me just take that bit off there. Yeah. It's starting to go flat and level, and it's getting very much nearer the line. And because you're doing it by hand, you've got more control. and this is what it's all about, having the control to get it to the right shape. Now once you've got it to the right shape, you grab your drawing and you check it, you double check it. So let me just tilt the camera, there you go. So we know this is the front because I've marked it front, okay, and we offer that up to the plan. We check that that's within tolerance, okay. Now this is where quality control comes in. Quality control, okay. Do you know the difference between accuracy and precision? Well, I'll tell you. If you imagine you are firing or shooting arrows at a round target and there's a bullseye, okay, if you get the arrows around the bullseye but you're hitting the target, that's accuracy. If you hit it in the center every time, that's precision. And what you want is precision. Why do you want precision? Because these, okay, dictate your angle of incidence. So it's important to get these correct. If you've gone too far, bin it, make another one. Okay, if you haven't sanded it enough, sand it some more. Offer it up to the plan. Keep offering it up to the plan. Okay, make sure it's right. Because what you've got to do then, you've got to take a pair of them, okay, and hopefully know that they're right. You glue them together. And now, because there's no rush, you know, to fit them, you can use wood glue. In fact, I probably will use wood glue rather than using cyano, because cyano is a little bit brittle. It's good, cyano's good, but because you've got time, I'm personally, my own personal choice, I'm going to use wood glue. Let it go off and then give it a final sand with your hand sander. Don't use the belt sander, and that will finish that off quite nicely actually, and they will then be ready for when you actually start making the fuzz or the fuselage. They're ready, they're to hand, they're already made. Okay, and I hope that very briefly explains what's happening. I know it's a bit more long-winded than what I'm saying, but that is basically what you do, and that's how you do it. Okay, so I'm going to crack on with the rear cabanes, and you may have learnt a new word today. Congratulations. And we can crack on with the rest of the build. And then once you've got all your bits done, all you're going to do then is put them together. Same with the wing. You've got to cut all the ribs out, use a bit of precision, make them all uniform, and then everything's ready. And then you can actually really start to build the model, because everything's done, it's there. It's like having all the parts in a kit, but you've made the parts in the kit, and that's where you get more satisfaction. I love that word. You get a lot more satisfaction because you've made the parts. It's not come in a kit, it's not being delivered in a box from the postman from China. Yeah, you've made it. You can go up to your friends and say, I made that. Oh yeah, how much is the kit? No, I made it. I made the whole thing. It's not a kit. I made the parts. And they go, really? Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Next thing you know, you're the man, or the girl, or the confused one. But you've done it. You made that, and you've used some precision. There lies in the what's the word I'm looking for? The rant, if you like. So there you are. So I'm going to crack on and finish the rear cabanes, and then we'll move on to the next part. Right then, so making the fuzz. Now, the drawing is not wholly informative. However, you should end up with a list of parts like this. Okay, so here's the two opposite sides of the fuselage of the fuzz. Okay, this is F1, F2, F3A, F3, F1A, battery deck, F4, F4A, and the strengtheners for the cabanes. And these are the cabanes. Now when you come to do F1, I have prepared and put a hole there because I think later on I might, when I come to balance the model, I might need to put lead in the front. I don't know, so I just prepared that. Okay, and you'll find with F1, let's go through them one at a time. Okay, now then, what I did, I copied the plan and just cut bits out so it made it easier to handle what I've got to do, because this is broadly speaking, that's all the information you got on the drawing. I could not find F2B lower, couldn't find that, don't know what it is, so I scrubbed it out. Now you'll find that when you cut out, in fact there is another bit I think. Yeah, there is, I don't know where that's got to. Oh, it doesn't matter. When you come to make your pattern for F1, there's a little line at the bottom and you need to cut that line lastly, because that indicates where F1 ends and the bottom begins. So I'm just wondering now whether I should just grab the drawing or not. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So, in other words, F1, sorry, I was just checking I wasn't telling you wrong. F1 comes down to there, here. Okay, and then you've got F1A that comes down to there, so you've got to cut that little lip out and allow for F1A to go down to that level there. Okay, and don't forget to cut this out for the gun, and you've got a little hanger there and there. Okay, and as I said, I just put that hole in because I know that if I need to I can put lead in the front to balance out if I need it. Now F2, with F2 you go off that piece of drawing, and this is where it's a little unclear, but F2 is only around here to where the battery rests. Okay, then after that it's 1.5mm ply. So once you've cut your battery hatch out, it comes out like this. It's not one piece, it's two pieces. Now staying with F2, you'll see this F2A, okay, and they've cut a little slot in it. Now I think the odds on getting that little slot just bang on right is pretty slim. So what I did, I made F2 slightly shorter. I put 1.5mm ply either side, so I've now got a groove, and that groove is for the front undercarriage to slot in there, and then it actually says to use cotton or thread. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drill some 1mm holes in there, okay, to put the thread through when I come to put the undercarriage on. And I've just remembered that's what I've got to do. So drill some 1mm hole along, perhaps every 5mm, something like that. But that's what it looks like. Okay, because I think the chances of getting that bob on are slim. Okay, and I did get a second opinion on that. So okay, right, F3A. F3A is towards the back where your motor will go. That's F3A. Now I may delay putting that in because my motor does not look like that, so I may do something different for that, but I'll make a video on that if I do. F3, that goes at the bottom here, and that sits on top of the wing rib. Okay, and then on top of that is the battery deck. Okay, so and that battery deck will slip through F2 like that. Okay, so F3, something like that, sitting on top of the wing rib. Okay, so that clears that up. This part is not marked, so by a process of elimination, figured out that's F1A. That's that. So that sits at the front of the battery, battery floor. Okay, that's that. That's marked 1.3 mil. Oh yeah. Okay, that's F3. It's all right. I'll just put it down. I'll put it that way up and not that way up, and didn't realise that F3 goes there. F4 and F4A, similar to what we had with F2. F4A goes here at an angle like that, like that. Yeah, can you see that? Okay, so the same again on this drawing. It shows a little groove, and again I don't think you're going to achieve that, so I've made F4A, which sits on the front, just a 5mm strip of ply, 1.5 ply, and again I've got to put some 1mm holes in there, so that'll take the back of the undercarriage. And that took me a little while and a few questions to figure that out. Okay, so but using my own methods, and there's a reason why I use my own methods, well I like to say the old-fashioned methods, is because, just do this now. If I have a crash or want to alter anything, I've got the pattern and I'll just draw around them, and it's all there. It's all there at your fingertips. So, and the same again with the wing ribs, which I already made the pattern for. So what I'm going to do now is start putting this together, and I'll leave F3A and F3 till last, because I need to see where the motor is going to fit, and then adjust that to make the motor mount to fit it comfortably. So there you are, and these here, if I haven't already explained, you already know what these are, I take it. There's your front cabane, that sits in there like that. That's your back cabane, that sits in there like that. And don't forget, you know, you want a bit of precision with these things. No, who said that? Hang on. Yeah. A bit of a sweat on then. Okay, that's how they go on, and it's best to do them now before you do the rest of them. So on the inside, okay, that one is your reinforcement there, and that one is your reinforcement there, and do that before you go on to the next phase. So do that, okay, and let me just double check if that's right. measure twice, cut once. So yeah, that's right. That's leaning backwards. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's got to go like that. It's got to go like that. Okay, so that's your inside, and that's your outside, and that's the left hand or the port side. Okay, there you go. So I've given you all the answers. If you can't figure the rest out after that, well, you know, because I've let all the secrets out and taken all the mystery out of it and what you're supposed to do. From memory, the inside width of these are 62mm. The battery bay floor is slightly smaller, but basically everything is correct, and I'll start putting this together next. No, actually I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to take the night off. I'll do this, start putting together tomorrow, and we can start moving rapidly forward, and then you'll see how it actually physically looks, and I'll do close-ups and everything else, so it takes all the pain out of it. You won't have to struggle. I'll do the struggling for you. Okay? Right. See you in a minute.